And we're live. Okay, so I guess this is the first official uh, LaGggy
LaGggy?
Hearthstone tournament. Yeah, I guess it's kind of exciting. To be honest, it's gonna be a little bit ridiculous. So okay, we might as well start with
LaGggy?
showing off what the format is at the moment. Just give me 1 second. To be honest, it's gonna be a little bit ridiculous. So, we have, in the round of 8, we've got a single elimination format, and we've got today, Reed versus Seiliez, followed by Asmodan's mom versus Ace. Right, any thoughts on the matchups?
So I think the most interesting round in this whole bracket is going to be Azmadan's mum versus Ace, because both know that they're the newest players in the bracket, and I feel like we get to see a big contrast from professional play, like a very big contrast from professional play. The lack of cards is going to have a big effect in the matchup. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, definitely. I guess anybody who was watching saw the games yesterday. Between I've forgotten the player's name, but the player was defeated in packs with a basic Murloc Warlock deck. And he was running
It
a
was
proper.
fascinating. It really was.
Yeah. Okay then. I guess there's enough memeing. We might as well just ask them to start. Uh,
Okay, when they're ready.
yeah. When the players are ready, we'll go in. The first game is gonna be an open deck format. Well, it's gonna be like that for the entire first round. We wanted to make it fair to the newer players. So here we go.
Oh, they've started. Wait, who do we mark as blue?
So
Reed.
Reed is currently marked as blue.
So that's the bottom, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're seeing the mulligan phase, and we see Hunter coming out immediately from Reed, and
Hello, Wanderer.
it seems like an aggro shaman from Seiliez. And
Grime Street
first
Informant.
things first, we see patches drawn.
Grime Street Informant doesn't look too promising.
Well, this is an interesting deck overall. We have Grand Street Informant and Dreadscale in hand. I honestly don't know what to expect. This isn't exactly a common archetype.
That was a great draw. The Mizaf's first mate will really help deal with the early patches. So all this gonna help deal with actually. The Dreadscale draw was pretty good as well. It will deal with the first set of Jade as well. So here I think, yeah, Animal Companion would be the best bet.
No, the first few turns are just starting out with basic trading, and I'll be honest, I'm not completely sold on either player's hands, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Dreadscale, especially considering there's a Tunnel Totem in play at the moment, and the Healing Totem is going to make that harder to deal with. Okay, so he's clearing that out with the Mizaf's first mate, the power shot. That's the obvious line here.
I think Seiliez is a fairly weak hand at the moment. He hasn't been able to draw enough power to put on enough pressure against Reed. The Jade Claws and the Lava Burst isn't going to achieve much in the early phases of the game.
I'm expecting going into Drake. Yep,
Yeah.
There it is.
He requires the cycle to be able to put enough pressure.
He's just drawn a small-time Buccaneer, and with the Jade Claws in hand and the Maelstrom Portal, I feel like that's enough to turn it around. And the Doomsayer top deck.
This doesn't look too good for Seiliez right now.
No, I mean that's a free play with Spirit Claws. Completely
That was a very
overlooked
good
the
top deck.
spell damage from the Azure Drake.
The top deck was very, very fortunate there. Now this is the problem that we see with Dreadscale. It doesn't do that much with the one
Well,
damage
he has
to
the
all
Hunter's
minions.
Mark to combo it with. And he's choosing
Now,
to
here,
go... He's
I don't
hovering the
agree with that.
Buccaneer. No, he's going for the Drake, yeah.
Okay, okay. Funniest thing here is the Shaman is on 20 HP.
Well, that's to be expected with the power of Steady Shot, which is the deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. I mean, Hunter's always been known for taking the aggressive archetype, even in a fairly control-esque style that we see here.
I feel like it's solely to do with the bad draw that the Shaman got in the early game. Because you will still see the 2 dead cards in hand at the moment.
Yeah, we do.
And the Earthen Ring Farseer.
At the same time, I'm with the Dread Scale expanded. I don't see draw for either side. I mean, the Runic Egg actually helps the Shaman.
Oh
And
wow, the life tap.
If Seiliez can... Oh, the life tap. Yep, that completely changes everything now.
Changes everything.
We were just talking about the lack of draw, and... Well, here we go.
I don't really agree with the choice of life tap. I understand that. So wait, this seems to be a Reno deck. The amount of discover cards that.
Yeah.
So we've seen Grime Street Informant and a Jeweled Scarab. I am 90% sure that this is a Reno deck at the moment.
Okay, with the Hounds pickup, he's managed to clear the Mr. Balanced 7/7.
The Dr. Balanced. I feel like there's too much pressure on the board at the moment. Unless there is a Reno Jackson, and we're right. I think Reed's lost this round.
Dirty
the
Rat.
Dirty Rat. Now the question is...
There's nothing to pull out. I mean, does he tap? With...
Ooh, King Crush.
Well, I mean, with the tap...
This deck is surprising me every single turn. It really is.
There's the Jade Lightning, and that is lethal for Seiliez. Round 1 to Seiliez.
Wow. That was a crazy game. For the first round.
So they're preparing for the next match. I mean, well, that was a surprise. Honestly, I wasn't expecting Seiliez to lose. Sorry, it's to not lose. To pull out the Aggro Shaman and the into the Hunter matchup. Honestly, I was not sure who would be playing the Stranger deck, and it seemed like Seiliez started out with an obvious meta ladder deck, and I mean it prevailed.
we saw the patches on turn 1. That seemed like it should have hindered his performance a lot, but he made it through. I think both players got really bad draws, but the objectively better deck won, sadly. I think it was inevitable in the end. Let's see how this one goes.
Okay, we see a very solid draw from Seiliez, but we're seeing. I mean, this looks like the 1/1 divine paladin that we saw in during the Whispers of the Old God patch, and I mean, I have to say it is a little bit out of date. But the dragons are an interesting inclusion. I mean,
Wow.
we see Volcanic Drake and Azure Drake here, and maybe that's to sort of make it more
against
sustainable.
darkness combo.
Oh yes, he has Stand Against Darkness combo in hand. But with the pressure on the board from Seiliez's side, I can't say I can. I don't see him managing to pull off the combo.
With the Flame Tongue Totem and the Finley in hand, I think Seiliez has this. There isn't a good enough draw to deal with the amount of pressure on board at the moment.
Well, I'm not sure about that. If he uses the 3/4 to trade and a Consecration is drawn, that could change things.
I think Seiliez might play around it though. But he doesn't need to use the 3/4 to trade.
I think the
Flame
obvious
Tongue
play is
Totem.
the Flame Tongue Totem with the
Yeah.
Spirit Clause, or potentially Finley. I mean,
No,
I think he's debating whether to play Finley or the Spirit Clause, and he's opting for Finley.
Ooh, okay.
This is a
I
tough
think here
choice.
he would take the Shapeshift, actually. And allow him to put more damage on board every turn. The Reinforce does stack up, but you're just playing into large AoEs.
Yeah, he's opted for the Shapeshift.
Volcanic Drake. Wow. There's a lot of pressure on the board at the moment. Oh, is he? Wow, he's doing it. He's opting to take the 6 damage to the face. Nope. Okay. So I think Seiliez is starting to realize that Reed's hand isn't very proactive. Okay.
I mean, he's forced into a defensive play here, having to trade with the 5/4, or the 3/4
Now-
buffed into a 5/4 with the Flame Tongue Totem.
there is.
That was a survival play.
He has 8 damage. Yes, he has lethal. Does he see it? With the Flame Tongue, Shapeshift, and the 3 damage Spirit Claws.
He's counting. He's definitely counting.
Oh.
So that's 3 plus 5.
Oh. I think it just doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the buff is the same. It's an extra 4 damage from the Flame Tongue Totem either way. I think you miscounted. I didn't actually. Oh wait, sorry. No, never mind.
No, he
was
had
just a delay.
more than enough damage. He just placed the Flame Tongue incorrectly because now he's not using the original Flame Tongue's buff.
Honestly, if anything, I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, it didn't matter in that scenario. Yeah. Oh, but that's game 2. Going over to Seiliez. Things don't look too good for Reed.
Transitioning straight into game 3. No thinking about the decks this time. And he's running the aggro shaman again. How aggressive from Seiliez. We see Inner Rage in
Seems to be a very
Dragon Warrior. This is definitely Dragon Warrior.
yeah. This is a Dragon Warrior. This is more offensive Dragon Warrior. Seeing the Grumash and the Inner Rage. So it's not the more control-based curator version where you run Fierce Monkeys instead of what is that card called? The 3/4. Never mind. Okay. I think this may actually be the first time I've seen a spiked Hog Rider in game. Seems to be a very interesting choice in this deck. And he's gone for the lesser heal. Okay.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm not sure if it was this particular Hog Rider, but there was a Hog Rider run during the NA vs CN tournament, the gold tournament, in a Reno Lock deck, and it was actually quite effective. It was run by Chucky, I believe.
The problem is though, this Hog Rider won't work in this matchup. I think the only two taunt cards or taunts that can be in the Shaman deck is getting the taunt from the hero power or using Feral Spirits. So yeah, there you go. He has to play the Spiked Hog Rider as a 5/5 and nothing else. We do have the other Hog Riders. I think you might be getting confused with those. They may have worked better in these decks.
The leather jacket.
The leather clad or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Because there's a 4 mana 4/4, a 5 mana 5/5, and a 6 mana 6/6.
It's the one. I think it was run as an anti Reno deck.
Yeah, so you get charged when they have
six
minions,
no,
6 cards in your hand.
Yeah, 6 or more cards in hand.
Now the question is, can Reed survive? Because we see the Blood Mage Stalnos, and if this is a spell power totem, ooh, that's very dangerous. Okay, so the second rate Bruiser might be able to.
The Bruiser and the healing hero power. I mean, at this point it comes down to, and he takes down the spell power totem. He sees the danger of that.
But yeah, there you go. He keeps the minions on board and keeps stacking the Jade Golems. This is not looking
I'm
too
not
good.
expecting any kind of board clear. Well, there's a slam. I mean, what's the likelihood of running Brawl in this deck?
If that is a top deck Brawl,
Bash?
Oh.
Bash? It's not too bad.
Bash will buy Reed one more turn, I think.
There is a haha in hand.
Haha.
And he can also freely expend the Jade Claws, opening up the Spirit Claws for next turn.
So he's opting to save the burst from the pirate in hand.
I think at this point the only thing that can save him is not that. Well, maybe. This puts 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on board.
Oh,
And
GG.
there's the lethal. Seiliez coming into the first round extremely aggressive.
Playing the same deck 3 times.
Playing Shaman all the way.
Open.
I was honestly not expecting this. Oh, and the BM!
The BM.
The BM
no Brawl
coming
top
out
deck.
from Seiliez, and no Brawl top deck means this is just a guaranteed loss. Reed goes out, going face. Going out with pride.
What is going on? What is this? I think we need to have a quick chat with these players after this. Oh, there's the end of the game.
The self
3-0 to Seiliez. The self-sacrifice at the end, yeah. So
Okay then.
this is the end of the first round, I guess. So we're on to the next game between Asmodan's mum and Ace.
Yeah. Well,
So
honestly, I don't know what to expect. That was the quickest 3-0.
it's very, very quick. But in my opinion, we're going to see the best matchup next. It's going to be very interesting to see what these two players bring out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually curious to see what is brought out, because I mean, Hearthstone's in a situation at the moment where all we see are the meta decks. I mean, we see the only changes we see are the minor tech changes, and I mean, I think I'm really not sure, but maybe we're at a point where everyone's bored of seeing the same deck over and over until the next expansion.
I feel like what you said very recently about rogue decks applies right here. Every rogue deck in ladder is the same.
Exactly. I mean,
And
this isn't. We're not just talking about like the general archetype. We're talking about, you know, card for card. The
identical,
list is
card for card,
identical.
identical. And we're seeing very similar things in every deck, and I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like it. I really want to see what these newer players bring out, so that I can maybe freshen up my decks a bit, let's say.
Hmm.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm really waiting to see what happens.
Okay. I mean, we can take a little bit of a break here. We'll keep the scoreboard up at the moment. We'll be coming back with Asmodan's mom versus Ace. Continuing on the first round. Let's see how this goes.